Pedro makes a move that shocks everyone.
Pedro makes a move that shocks everyone.
Whoa, whoa.
See, that's a dog that is in a follower state to begin with.
Is getting to know his new partner. Pedro, a 15-month...
So that's a clue. He's getting to know his new partner. And so if you don't know someone, if you don't know a dog, a horse, a llama, it will be really hard for me to tell you, okay, this is how we're going to do it, because it's my responsibility to tell you how my animal is going to feel safe with you, right? Because that's the first thing my animal wants to know. Can I feel safe? Like the same way I feel with Cesar. And so if the animal feels safe, and then what you're going to help me develop is trust. And that's how a dog becomes social, an animal becomes social, because we all repeat the same thing. So the level of awareness that we need to have when we meet in our dogs, our puppies, for example, when you got a puppy and your neighbors or your family members want to come and meet them, there is the moment of traumatic experiences if you don't do it right. So in this case, being a front of the pack German Shepherd is not gonna become traumatized. He's gonna create the trauma.
Old purebred German Shepherd is 65 pounds of muscle, ready and able to take down criminals. The plan, to meet John Gordon, a television reporter and his crew, at a bait...
And I love, and once you start watching it, please do watch it over and over and over, because it's such a very fast, simple way to understand what to do, what not to do. Even the music, it sounds like Jaws, right? The movie of the shark that is about to tune, 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 which obviously they already know what happened, so they create this suspense, which it only affects you, because then this movie or this music is attached to the outcome, right? You don't know, you are guessing. If you've never seen it before, it is preparing you for you to be a little bit nervous, to be a little bit unsure, to be, confused. And of course, the outcome is really bad. So I don't want to spoil it, obviously. But I want you to feel, the buildup of creating the story for the piece. So here's another piece created by another piece, right? The reporter that went to see Pedro, and then the TV show that decided to break down this event.
Field, where they will videotape Best and Pedro.
It's a moment in the video where Pedro is already started communicating towards the camera people, right? Because as I've done TV shows for 20 years, you can tell when the dog knows, as new people. Or they have different things, the cameras, the mics, especially the audio guys. They have a big bag in front of them to carry, so they can absorb the sound, so they record the sound, and so they're very bulky. So if you watch that episode, I think is 26 seconds, you're gonna see how Pedro immediately looks at it, and that right there is the dog communicating to the people.
Together.
He was playful with me, but at that time, I did not know his personality.
He was playful with him, but at that time, I didn't know his personality. This is very confusing for a lot of people, because personality is a lot of times charm, a lot of times playful, a lot of times, when somebody's a little bit like a joker and stuff like that, or like smooth, or gentle, stuff like that. But in this case, has nothing to do with personality, in my opinion. Personality is not the right word to describe Pedro. Pedro is a front of the pack. And so when you're dealing with front of the pack dogs, respect is a must, right? It's definitely something that was broken, right? It was broken in the meeting. How do you meet a new dog, period, right? Because the middle and the back, they will behave completely different. They can actually run away, they can pee, they can bite out of fear, but not in this case. This is a beautiful front of the pack dog that was triggered the rules, and the humans did not respect the ritual of meeting.
Gordon makes a request that changes everything.
At the same time, me telling you the story, being the new reporter in this piece, is a lot for those who want to learn rehabilitate dogs, groom dogs, walk dogs, take care of dogs, boarding. You know, so it's a new business coming where you stay in somebody's home, and this dog is not yours. You're supposed to take care of the dog. So make sure that you keep the dog safe and peace, right? Make sure the dog trusts you and respects you. And so in this case, it's a lot of it because you can see how the police officer is pulling the leash back, and you can see how the reporter is actually going in, but it's a little bit tentative, and he's touching the head, but it's not so much that he's touching the head as they both are nervous. One is doing this, the other one is doing this. So one is completely clueless, and the other one is sensing something, the police officer, because, you know, police officer, so his instincts are really good, but at that time, I don't think he used them as much as he should, right? As much as now he sees the videos, he learned a lot from it, right? How I could put the leash other on the top. I could let the dog play with the reporter instead of just put him on the seat, stayed, and come and pet the dog when there's no trust. What I want you to see is how these two gentlemen created no trust, and then how to intensify stress or tension or, you know, uncertainty in the moment. One is pulling and the other one is on top of it.
The reporter wants to get up close and personal.
That's another moment where Pedro gets to minute 30, I know, second 38 or 37. With Pedro, he just gives a really good eye contact. He's been licking his chomps or his lips for a while. The ears are way too back, and so he keeps looking at the reporter. You know, so it's a lot of warnings. That's why when they describe the video after all these warnings, and they make Pedro, you know, the one who made a mistake, and obviously, once you finish watching the video, you'll see that was never Pedro. It was the energies above humans, the agreement above humans, and then, you know, the follow through. That was agreement, commitment, follow through. So they have to agree. I have to show you, and we have to agree that this is how we're going to feel in front of my dog, and this is what we're gonna pet right now. So okay, my dog is happy-go-lucky. My dog is calm, surrender, or my dog is just very peaceful. So that's what we should be petting, right? So we should be petting something that allow us to maintain the safe and the peace between animal and human, and that's what we're giving love to. Right? Everybody wants to give love to the German Shepherd or to that dog. I'm a dog lover. But you can't just give your energy without knowing what are you giving it to. You know, what state of mind the dog is in for you to give the energy. It's beautiful to give love, but it's important that you give it at the right time so you nurture it, because love is for nurturing.
With Pedro.
I felt like it was going to be okay for the two to meet.
Although he's agreed, Officer Best.
So I feel like it was good for the two to meet. I feel like it was good. It wasn't a feeling. It was the mind. Because if he would have listened to the feeling, he wouldn't do it. Feelings are never wrong, but if you listen to your spirit and your instinct, then you can guarantee safe peace, right? Because the spirit wants peace. The instinct wants safe, right? So your instinct wants the safe, and your spirit wants the peace, and so that's a feeling. That's not a thinking.
Pedro on a leash with a choke collar around the dog's neck.
Pedro was doing great. I was kneeling down. He was sitting beside me. Mr. Gordon was kneeling down there.
Pedro was doing great. That is obviously now, you know, many years later, I'm pretty sure he would take that back, you know. And officer, I'm just using your video to make sure that the world learn from our mistakes. I have definitely made mistakes, but I have learned from it, and and I just use them to teach people. So I'm doing exactly that. That kind of message wasn't exactly what was happening.
Side, and everything was just as it should have been.
All seems well until the news reporter puts both hands on the police dog's.
That's not true. You see, all seems well until the reporter put the hands on the neck of Pedro. That just, let's say, before this moment where he grabbed the neck of the dog of Pedro, it was already low, medium, bad, right? So low, medium, bad, and Pedro keep having self-control, because that's one thing about front of the pack dogs. They don't just bite, they don't just bark. They wait. Patience is something that they do extremely well, because their job is to give direction, protection, and they don't just waste energy just because they wait into the last minute. So there's a lot of very, very beautiful warnings from Pedro. The only one who was feeling in this trio, it was Pedro. The other two, the two gentlemen, they were just thinking. They were just they went into the mind, and they totally forgot to feel the spirit and the instinct.
Throat, and then repositions himself to get even closer.
He leaned over Pedro, and that's a dominating position in the animal world.
By the way, everything, it was a lot of domination, like a lot of moments where the human unconsciously practiced dominance, or like confusion, like putting tension on the leash. The human not be 100% confident, the officer not being 100% confident, just facilitating this moment so the piece can be done, so the news can be done. And that's why I always train my camera people, and that's what I always tell people: you're going to touch the dog, you're going to walk the dog, you're going to feed the dog, you're going to do all of that stuff. Once we have calmness, once we have an open mind or happy-go-lucky, then you can do whatever you want, right? So that way you can guarantee prevention. And the prevention of what, Cesar? Fight, flight, avoidance. A fight is the aggression, flight is the fear, and avoidance is the dog not listening to you. So we must learn to trigger calm, surrender, happy-go-lucky.
Pedro makes a move that shocks everyone.
Pedro makes a move that shocks everyone. This one is always funny to me, if you can say, not because what happened in this moment, right? Not because that Pedro heard the news anchor or the news guy. It's not. That's not what I'm laughing for, or sarcastic smile or whatever that is. It just comes out. Because they say that Pedro shocked everyone. So if this video is watched by the animal kingdom, right? If I always picture that if the animals can watch TV and judge, and they will never be bad judges. They will never do it at a meaning, like a mean girl. They will never do it that way. But they will say, "What do you mean?" Pedro out of the blue. You see what I mean? Like Pedro shocked everybody. That's not truth, right? So the animals will watch that, and they will be outrageous to believe the Pedro acted without any warning or without any communication. So all the animal, knowledgeable people that love animals like myself, and all the animal kingdom, they would totally agree. I would totally agree with them. I would sit down and watch this video with them, and laugh about the way it was broken down, or the way it was told, the way the story was told about it. And so it turned like a fake news in the animal kingdom. See, that's confusion. That was a moment like a minute and 23. You got to see the confusion, because those 3 moments that I just said right there, when Pedro started walking and tell the people, when Pedro gave the eye contact, and then right now when Pedro just lay down on the floor, confused. Those are very 3 key moments for me, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So if I was a psychic, I would want to see what happened to his brain, right? If I wouldn't be able to see this moment, I would have loved to see in a psychic world the three most powerful moments where Pedro communicated, no one listened, and so the number one, and then it's number two when he gave the eye contact, and number three, not when he bit, is when it's removed the bite, and then he all of a sudden drop into the floor, and you see the confusion. So what I'm feeling is the intensity of the moment, right? Not what he did, but the intensity of the moment, and that's what they learn. That's what they learn.
Dog attacks with his mouth wide open. Officer Best watches in disbelief. When John leaned in, Pedro aggressively lunged at his face with a butt.
So when words have a lot of power in our world, human world. Words have a lot of power in the human world. So when you hear the audience and you never had an understanding of dogs, and or you have heard stories of dogs, and you hear this animal aggressively move towards the other person, you automatically go into protection mode. You automatically go into, I don't want to be around that dog. You automatically go into, I don't want this dog to ever be around my family. And many people, just based on what other people have said about the breed, they have developed racism or prejudice, right? People have become prejudiced about, oh, pit bulls are this, Rottweilers are this, German Shepherds are this. And that's wrong information. It only makes human unconscious, ignorant, not know the truth. And so we can't afford to live without the truth, right? Because it's very important for our sanity to know the truth. How do we, human, learn to not trigger aggression? But in this case, this aggression or this protection was triggered by the human, but it's being told that the dog reacted that way. So then you because you're not questioning nothing at that time, and sometimes you don't have somebody around to debate is that truth, you learn to believe it. You learn to believe it, especially because the piece is well done.
Force of 450 pounds. Pedro's lower incisors, which are used for tearing, grabbed John's chin just below his lip. The dog's top left canine tooth dug deeply into John's brow, dangerously close to his eye. Fearing John may have permanent damage to his eye, he's rushed to the hospital.
Didn't see it coming, didn't know what happened at first.
So Mr. John Gordon, that's the reporter, and he didn't saw it coming. Accidents are normally that way, but we could, like I said, we can prevent this kind of accidents. I think humanity will learn and need to learn, how to prevent this kind of accidents, especially with animals, especially with animals who have been with us for hundreds of years, and they have become domesticated, and they have earned the title man best friend, unconditional love. They will never bite the hand that feeds them. Loyalty, leadership, love, life, and certainly have helped me a lot in my profession and my dream, to become the best dog trainer in the world. I became a person that rehabilitate dogs and train humans. And so when you hear 450 psi of pressure, that's awesome. That's good engineering, that's good power to know. But once you know how to use it, you don't use it. The German Shepherds that we have here, we redirect that power in other things. So they don't have to use that power. It's true, they do have that much power. They're carnivorous, right? So they're supposed to have something so they can crack whatever they eat, but not to use it on us, especially not that way. Even though police officer dogs, canine, they're going to use that power on the bad guys, right? But Mr. David was not the bad guy. He just did a bad thing, right? And which is not understanding dog psychology, not understanding just the basics of energy, and not practicing just no touch, no talk, no eye contact. That's the action. Let the dog come to you. Let him smell you. Let him tell you, hey, I'm now familiar with your scent, and I like your energy. So maybe you can throw the ball, and then the dog will communicate. How they want to get to meet you, get to know you, so you can eventually do that thing everybody wants, which is to touch a dog, which is to pet a dog. But the first thing we must learn to do from this point on is to gain the trust of a dog with a physical touch.
Just boom, right in the face.
Turns out, news reporter John Gordon suffered only minor injuries.
So I had a total of 5 stitches right around my mouth and at the top part of my eye. It was so close to the eye that I think I was very lucky that day that I didn't lose an eye.
I'm a pack leader, and he's second in command. So if anybody comes up to the dog and tries to tower over the dog, he will take that as an aggressive act and react to it.
Pedro was simply doing what he was trained to.
I'm a pack leader, so I don't understand why that second officer came and let us know. Well, pack leader, remember, pack leader is a word. It's just like a CEO, just like a jefe, just like patron, just like what else is the chief, right? But it's more important the action, what it means, and the energy that a good pack leader needs to do, which is keeping everything safe and peace. That's what I teach. Yes, we must take that position because there is no knowledge behind instincts. It's all reactions. And that's why we have to take that. That's the only one that can actually overrule instincts that we don't need, that we don't want, that we can redirect. And that means direction protection. But it's not so much with tension or too much physical communication. No, it's about calm, confident. It's about calm, confident energy, just like we have seen cats controlling dogs, and it has nothing to do with a leash or anything. It's just the cat's energy is stronger.
The reason it wasn't worse is because of the quick thinking and quick response of Officer Best. Watch as Best.
The quick thinking, the quick response, I would have done it a little earlier, and that right now is more like it already happened. So you have to move that animal away from the other person. So the quick thinking, that we quick reacted, I would have chosen to practice that strategy, because as a strategy, quick thinking, quick acting. Well, if you do it before bad things happen, I think it's a good strategy. Quick thinking, quick acting. Right? And then you can definitely, they wouldn't have this piece and I wouldn't be here, but the reporter wouldn't be bitten, right? If that strategy would be practiced earlier.
Immediately yanks on Pedro's leash, physically pulling the canine away. It's a narrow escape.
Untamed and uncut. Only on Animal Planet. Untamed.
Well, I hope you enjoy this breaking down dog training versus dog psychology, story versus reality, agreement, commitment, follow through. For people who don't know any dog, listen, watch the video. Once you start feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you can pause it, breathe, and then go and do it. Watch it again. Don't watch it tense, don't watch it nervous, don't watch it anxious, because then whatever you saw is going to make you hold that energy. But it's a really, really, really good video to really learn what not to do, and to really learn how to practice the right energy. Why it's so important to practice the right energy, the right philosophy, and the right actions. And why I'm so always telling my team, we have to help the world. We have to educate the world. This is so simple. This is, should be natural, simple, and profound. And I love this video. It's one of my favorite videos. Hopefully you learn to have the stomach for it, because it's A lot of people find it uncomfortable, but that's what every time we watch it, I always say something funny so people start thinking about it, or I suggest people just to breathe and just breathe it out. Don't hold the bad memory and don't hold the bad energy. Just hold the right energy and hold the right memory so you can be a good pack leader. Direction, protection. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and join me on my mission of better humans, better planet.